So it is day one of phase 2 with this build series. We are jumping into the framing today. All the concrete got completed last night at like 7 o'clock. So this is the first time we've seen it. It does look good. Everything turned out great. The inside, with it being burnt like that, it gives it that little polished look without having to polish it. And then polish it, not polish it, not polish it, polish it. Polishing concrete is very expensive, so if you can just get away with doing the burnt finish, it's much cheaper and still does look really nice. So guys are on their way. We're going to start framing. It's going to look like something totally different today than just some concrete in the ground. Just want to look over this shit on my phone. These back windows are staying the same. And then obviously this door is French door. So that's the only thing that changed. The rundown on how a wall is framed, if you don't know, these bolts right here is what really holds your house down to the foundation. There's nothing else. So you got these bolts that bolt the sill down, which is treated. Below that, you have this foam, which is called sill seal. It keeps all the bugs and weather out of it. So you got the concrete, the sill seal, the treated plate, 2x6 studs, and then on the top, you got a double top plate. And most of the time, it's a double top plate because it locks the walls together on how you frame it. You interlock the double top plate, and that is what gives you the structural integrity. Woohoo! Got that pile driver, baby. It's good.
Agarra usted también.
Are we close to the hole? It's gotta go that way, son. Oh, Papi! So that wall was a total pain. We walked it from over there, stuck it up. Think I might got some hernias, but we're good. Who framed the wall wrong? Oh shit. Who forgot to nail up a stud? God damn. Building this garage, we don't know exactly where the door height's gonna be. That ties the breezeway into that because we're trying to match the height from this door. So the best way to do that is figure out the height of this deck that works from here over to there. What I did is I put a nail here, and then I'm gonna hook the nail like this and then pull across. So we're gonna use this line level, and then it'll level from the top of the deck over to the garage, and then we'll figure out the door height off of that. Down a little bit. Yeah. Go right there. All right, so that's pretty much right at the top of this foundation, which actually works out perfect. The height of the deck will be right here at this foundation, and then from there up the door will be, because the door is gonna set like another, probably like 3.5, 4 inches above that. So pretty much right where this is honestly where the deck's gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a little bit higher, but now that's laid out, it works perfect. Before they set the trusses, they put these cross bracing up in all the corners, and that does make sure the walls are straight. So when you nail the trusses to the walls are plumb, because once you nail everything together, you can't change it. Drop it. Oh shit! Oh shit! The roof's not getting put on until next week, so I'm gonna come up here and put the ice and water shield and the all the synthetic underlayment, I just had a brain dookie. That way there's no weather getting to this plywood. Do you have a knife on you? Actually, I know you do because you tried to cut me with it earlier. Look, see? All of the gutter lines I do in ice and water shield, and the rest is synthetic underlayment. And the ice and water shield is practically like a shingle. It's all tar. It has the granules on top of it, and then it has this, so it all sticks together and pretty much makes it weather tight. This stuff is just like almost like a tarp, and it does work very well. It's just not as watertight as the ice and water shield. Hey Bill, do you have that knife on you? Oh, actually, no, I got it. I guess I actually do steal your knives more than I think I do. Once you cut it to length, you tack it, you pull this piece of cellophane stuff out from underneath, then that's when the tar sticks to the roof, and that's when you get that real nice weather tight. So this is what it looks like when it's done. You start from the bottom, work your way to the top, so everything overlaps, and when the water goes down, it doesn't. If it's the other way, the water's gonna go in. So you start at the bottom, work your way up. This is the ice and water shield at the gutter lines, because a lot of times when an ice dams, the ice builds up in the gutter, and then the water backs up and then goes up underneath of it. So this is very waterproof. As you can see, framing this roof is a lot different than the other one. The other one has engineered trusses. This one, you build it by hand. So this is the ceiling, and then once you do that, you take the same boards, put them up, and you have a ridge beam. The ridge beam is a little bit bigger, and that goes from the load point at the house to the center. It bends, it's two separate points, and it will bend. So you have to have a king post from that down to your beam there. This is a lot more involved than the garage. The hardest part is figure out exactly where the roof goes and get the roof built. So the second day of the framing is coming to a close, and you can see how well it looks. The vision is coming to reality. When we built this roof, we lined it up with the house roof, so it kind of gives the vibe of the house continuing over to the garage, and it doesn't make the garage look as tall. If we were to keep that roof very high, it would make everything look really tall, and then the house would look really short. So it kind of makes the house look proportionate with how big the garage actually is. Is your finger in the way?
It's never in the way, but let me just move my hand.
Wait, what'd you say?
It's never in the way.
I'm gonna save this clip. Height, and then you can see it in the shingles. So when building, it's hard to catch every little detail, and you want everything, the finished product, to look exactly how you want it. So when we poured this foundation, the foundation was poured correctly, but it stuck out flush with this. But when you add the siding, you know, with this retaining wall, it's up here. So when you add the siding, it has to stop here because you can't nail siding to concrete. So what we did was we ground the foundation back a little bit, like a ½ inch, enough to where we can overhang this plywood over top of the concrete. We'll put some glue back behind it, so that'll give us a spot for where the stone's gonna stop right here, and then from there up is gonna be all plywood, like matching the rest of the sides. This is being framed out for a closet / storage area, and with these ceiling heights being so tall, we decided to make the inside of this closet 8 foot and the top whatever it ends up being for storage. So we are cutting some plywood. So since this plywood's going to be a deck, something that's going to hold weight, structural, you want to do 3/4 inch plywood. Walls, ½ inch. Anything you're walking on, sticking something on, 3/4. We are raw dogging this clip. It's a one take and one take only. So the framing portion of this job has been complete. So I figured there's been a lot of chop, a lot of stuff going on through this video, but we're gonna do one final walk around before we dive into the next portion of this job, which is gonna be the siding, the windows, the roof, the fun stuff, the beautiful stuff. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to go subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And if you aren't subscribed and you missed the last video to catch yourself up to this portion, please go back and watch that one. But the front of this is nice, tall, big siding. It's going from the roof down to here where this tape line is. This is going to be stone from here down to match the house. Walking around this side, we do have big 10-foot black doors, garage doors with side mount motors, windows up on top. Walking around this side, you can see that this big breezeway going from garage to the house was changed a little bit from the plan. This deck was supposed to go from the house over. You'd have to step up to go across and out to the backyard. But the problem was when we framed it, this roof height had to be where it was to match the house. It got a little squatty where the beam and the deck were, so we didn't want that to continue all the way over. We like this grand entrance feel walking from the garage to the house. Coming to the back side. This back patio is nice and big, has tall ceilings. Once this is done, you'll have pine. In the entrance over there, you have pine under here. It's going to feel like you're in a cabin, but really you're in a garage. So coming around this back side, this will all be stone, and this is going to be where a swing, hot tub, owners haven't decided what they want to do yet, but it's going to be a vibey hole. Coming in the inside, you'll step through this big French door in the garage. Who's got a garage in their French door? Rich people. So you got this big thing, this big spot. You're going to have a car lift, a couple cars in here, massive. Closet, don't know where to hide stuff, closet. Don't know where to sit stuff that you're not really using much, on top, the mezzanine. And that wraps up this video pretty much. We got so much more in store. We got so much more with this job, so make sure you give it a follow. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. We're new. We're on a budget. So we're trying to do what we can with what we got.